What's up, you guys? Jason Stewart here with Epic Fighting. I'm here with Nathan, who grew up in Sweden, but is here to fight at Epic Fighting, and we're excited to see him make his MMA debut. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your backstory and how you ended up here.
My name's Nathan Westberg. I'm 25 years old. I moved out from, so I grew up in Escondido till I was like 10 years old, 9 years old. Moved out to Sweden, lived there with my dad for 11 years. And about 4 years ago, moved back out here. Mm-hmm. And pretty much to chase the American dream.
Yeah,
that's why I want to come back out here.
I love it. So he came all the way down today from Murrieta, so we appreciate you. It was a long drive. And so tell us a little bit about why fighting. So the American dream takes on all kinds of forms. There's people that think of it as a business form, a sports form, and usually to a non-fighter, that sounds like the hardest, roughest route to go to try to make the American dream. Why did you choose fighting?
Ever since I was a kid, I was getting into a lot of fights in school and always, I don't know, it feels like there's something I got in my blood pretty much. I was always in situations where I was getting into fights, and it's, I don't know. When I kind of look back at it now, it feels like my whole life is kind of led towards this. I grew up just watching Muhammad Ali videos and Mike Tyson. I was always interested in it, and I didn't know why.
You were intrigued.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you felt like you were fighting it for so long. Instead of fighting it, now you're starting to embrace it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Flip the switch.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. I just didn't know the guidance part of it. I didn't know what it meant, but now everything kind of clicked for me.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your training and your coaches and what's evolved over the last 4 years. I mean, you didn't just start 4 years ago training martial arts. You had a little bit of background, right?
Yeah, I boxed a little bit, and I did a little bit of wrestling over in Sweden.
In Sweden?
Yeah.
Now, does Sweden have wrestling?
Yeah,
like they don't.
No, it's not like WWE's.
But they don't have like wrestling like they do in America. Like
actually, the dude that was my coach, he's
pretty bad.
Yeah, he coached Olympic silver medalist or bronze medalist. His name was Aero or something. He was the dude that left his medal on the mat in the Olympics because he didn't want to accept it because it was like a controversy with the dude that he beat, ended up winning the gold medal. So it was like a protest thing. But so he was a badass, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you got some legit wrestling, you got some legit boxing, and in the last 4 years, you've just been tying it all in together.
Yeah.
And now you're going to step in the cage for the first time.
Yes, sir.
So how do you feel that's going to go? Are you the type that likes to plan and study your opponent and watch all the videos? Or are you the type that just feels like I'm training for a fight?
I'm pretty much just training for a fight, and I feel like it doesn't matter really who's in front of me. If I'm 100% on point, I can beat anybody, I feel like.
That's a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because so many people are, if you change their opponent or something like that, they just go to shit. Their coach goes off, they go off, and it's just like they don't know if they're going to fight anymore. And it's just, so it sounds to me like if your opponent got changed the day of, you wouldn't care.
No, because I resonate with what Cus D'Amato told Mike Tyson when he was training him, that fighting is 90% mental and 10% physical. And I feel like I got the mental part dialed in.
You have the mental edge.
Yeah, so I'm not worried.
And so when you were growing up, you kept gravitating towards fighting. These weren't constructive, positive type of sportsman-like conduct fights. You
couldn't say that.
So you were kind of going down the wrong path with it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hanging out with the wrong types of people.
Yeah, getting in trouble at school, getting in trouble with the cops a couple times, and it wasn't productive if you say it that way. As
you said before the interview, you said you found yourself associating with less than honorable people.
Yeah.
And so where did that turn? I mean, you're not associating with those people anymore, it seems like?
No.
So what was the change? What was the breaking point that made you say, okay, I need to switch it around?
I kind of saw all the older guys where I grew up, and their life wasn't really anything that appealed to me. And I knew that if I kept going down that route, I was just going to end up like one of them.
Yeah.
And ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted more. it felt like I knew I was great. I was destined for great things, but I just didn't know what it was. So I've always been striving for more. And most of them weren't about that. They're just kind of complacent. And
I think that was I talk about it sometimes. And my biggest blessing was my mom being a drug dealer. All the drug addicts would come by the house to get the drugs. And you could tell these were the guys and girls that were the cool kids in high school that were going to all the parties and had the scoop on where the events were and all this stuff. And they didn't look cool anymore. You know, they're missing teeth and stuff at 28 years old and 30 years old. And I'm like, if that's the cool kid path, doing the drugs and this and that,
I'm good off that.
Let me avoid that. Yeah, exactly. So that's great that you noticed that.
Yeah.
Because so many people don't. So many people are like, I just have this peer group that I have to impress. But when you look at the older generation of the peer group, is that goals? Because if it's not goals, you need to hang out with different people.
Exactly. I gotta pay my dad a big tribute to that, because he's morally, he instilled like such strong morals in me. Like, so that was a big part of it. I didn't want to let him down.
So he's Swedish, right?
Yeah, he's Swedish.
And so he pretty much raised you from 9 till...
No, he raised me my whole life pretty much by himself. Yeah, since I was a little baby.
Oh, even in Escondido, it was just you and him.
Yeah, he moved out here in the 80s by himself. Didn't know nobody, anything like that. Just chasing the American dream.
Wow.
And yeah, so I'm kind of like following his footsteps a little bit, but just my own path.
That's inspirational, man.
Yeah.
And so he instilled some good morals, and you started to feel like you can't let him down.
Yeah, that was the main thing that stopped me from like really going overboard, doing really bad things, because I didn't want to let him down.
And you know how many people can't say that? Like, there's so many fatherless, we were talking about it with an interview earlier with a fighter, and he said, there were no father figures in my neighborhood. Like, it's all single moms raising kids.
It's gotta be rough.
Yeah. And so, some people turn to coaches, and some people turn to, the gangs and, these wrong routes. So the fact that you had a father there that was loving and caring. Oh, yeah. I know he worked hard. You said he wasn't around all the time. You spent a lot of time by yourself.
Yeah, I did.
How do you feel that changed you as a person, your personality?
It made me very independent and very mentally strong, I feel like, just because I had to fend for myself a little bit as a young kid. But
figure things out.
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of threw me in the deep end a little bit, but you either learn to swim or you sink.
Yeah.
I learned to swim.
So how do you see this fight going? July 23rd, you got a big fight coming up.
Yes, sir.
At Epic Fighting, get your tickets at epicfighting.com. What do you see? Do you want to, when you picture it? I mean, most fighters, they say, my goal is to get fight of the night. But every now and then you're like, I'm going to go in and knock him out real quick and maybe get knockout of the night, maybe get submission of the night. Do you see a long fight? Do you see a short fight? Do you see you going to the ground, staying on the feet?
It's going to be a first round KO.
First round KO. Yeah. That's the most confident answer I think we've had yet. Like, no hesitation. It's going to be a first. I mean, if you want to know how it's going to go, I'll tell you how it's going to go. First round KO.
Yes, sir.
All right. Punch or kick?
Kick.
Yeah?
It's going to be a nice one.
You heard it here, July 23rd. Come check him out, epicfighting.com. We'll see you guys there. That was sick, dude. I love it.